the dark secret of ancient Egypt they tried to hide. More than 5,000 years ago, before the Great Pyramids were even built, one Egyptian ruler died. But he was not buried alone. Archaeologists would later uncover something horrifying beside his tomb. Rows of human graves. Perfectly arranged. Young servants. Guards. Women. Attendants. Over 100 people buried beside their king. Not decades later. Not naturally. At the exact same time. And many historians believe they were sacrificed, so they could continue serving him in the afterlife. Before we dive into the main story, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell notification button for more interesting video like this. This is the chilling true story of the pharaoh whose death sentence extended far beyond himself, and the terrifying ritual hidden beneath the sands of ancient Egypt. Imagine being a servant in ancient Egypt. One morning, the king dies. The palace falls silent. Priests begin chanting. Soldiers close the gates. Then you hear your name called. Not for a reward. Not for freedom. But because you were chosen to die with the pharaoh. Thousands of years later, archaeologists discovered a tomb surrounded by over 100 human burials, servants, guards, and attendants all placed around their ruler like possessions. The shocking part? Evidence suggests many of them were buried at the same time as the king, meaning they may have willingly or unwillingly followed him into death. Who was this ruler? Why were so many people sacrificed? And what did ancient Egyptians believe was waiting after death that made this horror possible? The answer reveals one of the darkest secrets in human history. The story begins around 3100 BC, during the very beginning of ancient Egypt's first dynasty. This was an era before the famous pyramids, before Tutankhamun, before the golden age of Egypt. The kingdom was still new, violent, and unstable, and one ruler stood above the rest. Djer was believed to be one of Egypt's earliest pharaohs, a ruler seen not merely as a man, but as a living god. To ancient Egyptians, pharaohs were divine beings chosen to maintain order in the universe itself. When a king ruled, the world remained balanced. When he died, chaos threatened everything. But Egyptians also believed something even stranger. Death was not the end. It was only a doorway. To ancient Egyptians, the afterlife was not symbolic. It was real. They believed the soul continued living after death almost exactly as it had on earth. Kings would still need food, servants, guards, entertainment, and protection. A pharaoh entering the afterlife alone was unimaginable. So when Djer died, preparations for one of the most disturbing funerals in ancient history began. His burial site was constructed at Abydos, one of Egypt's most sacred cities. But archaeologists noticed something unusual around his tomb. There were smaller graves surrounding it. Dozens of them. Then more. Then more. Until the total number reached over 300 subsidiary burials, with many believed to belong to royal servants and attendants. Some historians estimate that more than 100 people may have been sacrificed specifically to accompany the king. And the evidence became impossible to ignore. When archaeologists excavated the site in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, they discovered something terrifying. Many of the surrounding graves appeared to have been created at the same time. The burials were organized with precision, almost like a planned ceremony. This suggested these people did not die naturally over many years. They died together, near the king. For the king. Researchers believe many were servants, court officials, guards, and possibly even royal women chosen to accompany Pharaoh Djer into the afterlife. Some graves contained valuable objects and offerings, showing these people may have been honored in death. But honor did not change the reality. They still died because their ruler died. This is where the mystery becomes darker. Historians still debate whether these servants were killed against their will or participated willingly because of religious belief. Ancient Egypt's culture revolved completely around the pharaoh. Serving a divine king in the afterlife may have been considered a sacred privilege. But even if some accepted their fate, others almost certainly did not. There are theories that victims may have been poisoned or sedated before burial. No dramatic evidence of violent struggle was found in many graves, which has led some experts to believe deaths may have occurred through ritual methods rather than brutal execution. But make no mistake, these people were still sacrificed, and their lives ended because one man was considered too important to enter death alone. Here's the truly fascinating part. This horrifying custom did not last forever. By later dynasties, Egyptians largely stopped burying real humans with pharaohs. Instead, they replaced them with small servant statues called ashaptis. These figurines were believed to magically work for the deceased in the afterlife, eliminating the need for actual human sacrifice. In other words, ancient Egypt slowly evolved away from ritual burial killings. Even for them, the earlier practice may have become too extreme. And that tells historians something important. The earliest Egyptian kingdoms were far darker and more brutal than the glamorous image most people imagine today. Djer's burial site shocked archaeologists because it revealed something many did not expect. The foundations of one of history's greatest civilizations were built not only on beauty and engineering, but fear, power, and death. The golden masks and pyramids we admire today came centuries later. Before that was an age where rulers were worshipped so completely that entire groups of humans could be buried beside them as possessions for eternity. And beneath the sands of Abydos, those silent graves remained hidden for over 5,000 years, waiting to tell their story. But Djer was not the only ruler connected to horrifying burial rituals. Archaeologists have uncovered evidence suggesting other early Egyptian kings may have practiced similar sacrifices. And some ancient tombs still remain unopened, meaning somewhere beneath the deserts of Egypt, there could still be undiscovered chambers filled with the servants of dead kings, buried alive, waiting in silence for thousands of years. For more videos like this, click like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.